Peace to the family. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Shout out to y'all. Um, as a precaution, just give me a little thumbs up in the chat if the sound is alright. Like the sound is copacetic, everything is sounding good. And yeah, make sure we can get into this. Hood in the morning, no doubt. Shout out to Dreamwise. Shout out to D-Ray. Shout out to Keisha, no doubt. We here, man. It is Wednesday. Today is March 4th. We dealing with this moon in Gemini. We dealing with the goddess, the Venus and Willendorf energy. You know, we see this picture all the time. Well, at least I see the picture all the time. And I don't know, just studying this astrology, it brings certain stuff up. So as these things come up, you know, I'm gonna just be here to talk about them. And I just feel fortunate and grateful to just be able to have these kind of conversations on the daily and then kind of build and have a feedback to it. So be sure to call in after we do this little quick rundown of the energy of the day. And that'll be the segment of the show that I called Tapped In. Yesterday was amazing, and today I'm hoping for the same. But let's just get into this build for the day. We're gonna start with Venus of Willendorf. This was a statue found in this village a long time ago. They say it's like really old. And some of the features of this goddess is that she's blind. You don't see her eyes, you don't see her face. Um, Her hair is in cornrows. She's naked, and her hands are behind her back, meaning that she's bound. You might see this statue remixed and reflipped with the goddess of fortune, and she's the blindfolded goddess giving away all of the harvest. We've seen that picture before, but this is the original. This is the archetype. Venus of Willendorf is eyeless because nature can be seen but not known. We can feel nature, we can experience nature. So peace to all of my family that's in Tennessee with these tornadoes. Yesterday we talked about Oya energy. Soon as I get off the live, I'm seeing like a massive tornado in Tennessee where it actually took lives. You understand what I'm saying? So this power is actually coming online, and that's fortunate for some and unfortunate for others as we kind of cross this threshold of reality and tying it into our personal energy, and then how our personal energy is also a creative force, a planetary force that actually creates the world that we live in. Okay, so this is the power. This is kind of why they want to keep this energy suppressed and unknown. You really tapping into the goddess because a lot of destruction happens out of that, and so we're just going to talk about that. um she is remote even as she kills and creates. So she kills and creates. This is the energy that, we see presently on the planet. Whether we talking about the wildfires in California, whether we talking about the wildfires in Brazil, the locusts in East Africa, whether we talking about the wildfires in Australia, whether we talking about the coronavirus in Wuhan. Now, a lot of people say that these are man-made things, but they possibly are. But in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, everything happens for a particular reason. Everything has a spiritual foundation. So it can manifest as something man made, but at the end of the day, it is actually affecting human lives. And then that effect of human lives is actually triggering something within us. So this statuette, so overflowing and protuberant, is ritually invisible. She stifles the eye. She is the cloud of the archaic night. So when we think about energy, we think about the sun, which is our masculine, everyday force of energy. And then we also think about the moon, which is our feminine energy. And then right after that, we have the energy of Venus. And we're just talking about simple observation of the night sky. Okay, simple observation of the night and day sky will give you the sun visually, and then it'll give you the moon visually, and right after that, it'll give you Venus visually. So I got a lot of videos tied into Venus, Venus Explained, articles centered on Venus, the planet of love, so forth and so on. But at a more archetypal level, the cornrows represent agriculture because this energy existed before civilization, the energy of the goddess. So the actual cornrows that people put in their hair before they put their quick weaves or lace fronts on, that's actually an agricultural symbol that gave people an actual modern day blueprint to how they wanted to set up that corn row, or they farming or they gardening and things of that nature. Before the farm though, it was actual the corn rows in the hair, right? So this is a matter of futuristic things, and it's probably like a large percentage of the women right now with cornrows in their hair right now. So that's some advanced magical metaphysical type. It's a lot of men with cornrows shit. You know what I'm saying? That's metaphysical, magical, spiritual in a way that's beyond your conscious mind. You might think it's a hairstyle, but that's really the main way that people actually survive. We live off of agriculture in this present day. You know, we are semblance of agriculture. So the goddess just represents that. And so the moon is going to be inside real Gemini. And this is aligned to Ardra Nakshatra. And so I'm going to get back to the goddess, but first I'm going to just deal with this Nakshatra and show you just the different levels of this particular energy. Now, Ardra rules our critical nature, our personal cruelty, and our overall perversity. Ardra is a masculine energy, okay? And Venus is a feminine energy. So what we don't understand about our masculine energy is that it needs to be exerted, it needs to be asserted, it needs to be yielded, it needs to be put on the surface. What we tend to do with our masculine energy is we tend to hide it, we tend to suppress it, and in that case it redirects within. And so we become critical of self, we become cruel to self, we become destructive to self. But ultimately the right exact of our masculine power is to direct it outward. Or in another esoteric sense, it's about getting rid of our negative energies, getting rid of our blockages and things of that nature. And if we have this cruelty, if we have this divine masculine and this divine force, then our obstacles really ain't shit. But our obstacles might seem like the most craziest shit to us if our masculine energy is inverse. Hope y'all follow me and understand what I'm trying to say, because when we reference Gemini, we're referencing also the constellation of Orion, because Gemini is on top and Orion is on the bottom, okay? And so these energies kind of exist in the same space. And one of the major planets, well, there's three. There's Orion's belt, everybody knows about that. But then there's also an energy called Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse on the shoulder. And that's where the moon, that's what the Ardra Nakshatra represents in a scientific sense. But the actual planet Betelgeuse is actually an indicator of what's happening in the world. All you have to do is Google Betelgeuse and exploding, and you will see that that planet is close to exploding. So a lot of things are changing as far as this actual masculine energy, the energy of cruelty, the energy of perversity, the energy of being critical, and not the energy of actually seeing. Because the thing about Venus or Willendorf, the thing about Orion is that these energies tend to die out. These energies tend to go through a period of mourning, and they're also blind, right? So when it comes to these energies dying or these energies being destroyed, that means that, you know, the energies that are people who couldn't never see the truth are now beginning to see the truth. Okay, this is one of the brightest stars in the night sky, and most unusually is visible from any place on Earth at one time or another in the course of a year. This bright star represents Nimrod or Satan or Set. Now, Masterly Foolish and Dreamwise just put out a video recently about working with Set. Now, in the esoteric spiritual sense, this energy is Betelgeuse or Beetlejuice. And if you want to really tap into the energy of Set, everything is still kind of foggy. You don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Just simply go online. I think you can go anywhere online and watch Beetlejuice, the movie, and then really key in on Beetlejuice's energy. He was causing mad mischief and mad havoc, and ain't nobody really want to deal with him for real, for real. But at the end of the day, he saved the day. That's a real energy channel of the energy of Beetlejuice, however you pronounce it. But if you look in the news, you'll see this energy like very much prevalent. I got like on my feed, I see new information about Beetlejuice almost every day. So that instantly it make you just want to watch the movie, tie into the energy, see that it's a very destructive energy, and say, okay, this energy is online. But instead of, if you know you got a destructive energy, if you know you got destructive things, it's very important to make use of them. You might have a destructive child. Get your child into stuff where he could utilize that energy of being destructive instead of trying to clean your house all day. Now, if you got destructive energy and you trying to be clean, pure all the time, then you making your life more difficult than it actually is. You need to take that destructive energy, see the negativity in your life and say, sick them, go get them, girl. You understand what I'm saying? Go get them, boy. Bring out the wolves, bring out the beasts, bring out the monsters. If there's negativity in your life, don't meet that shit with peace. That don't even make sense. The negativity gonna look at that piece and eat it for dinner at the end of the day. So make sure you know how to deal with negativity in your life, that evil meets evil, water seeks its own level, so forth and so on. If you have any weaknesses, if you have any liabilities, this energy is perfect, right? You're too nice, right? You're too kind, you're too loving, right? In this world where that shit don't necessarily always fly, and it's not to say that you need to stop being loving, but you need to love yourself, because you're real rough with yourself. You're real evil and real mean to yourself, right? That's what this energy represents anyway. So if you don't understand that you need to be evil outwardly because you don't want to destroy yourself, and then be loving and kind to yourself and stop trying to be loving and kind to a person. So many people have negative self-talk but want to be in a relationship. And you got to really sit and think about that and unpack it, right? It's much easier to have positive self-talk and allow a relationship to magnetize towards you, because the negative self-talk is creating the need for a relationship, and that's when shit gets really foggy, and that's when shit gets a little confusing. Okay, so at the end of the day, there overall represents a struggle that one is faced with, but if one deals with that struggle, that can ultimately lead to great rewards, and we talked about a lot of things previously, like manifesting and creating your own luck. So deem it to be that you're lucky today, as you driving into work, just claim today to be your lucky day, because a lot of times with the energy of going to work and doing the same thing every day, we create negative energy. Okay, we create negative vibrations. So it's really important to claim your positive vibrations. It's really important to goddamn destroy any type of negative vibration that's going on in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. Your family going through something, bring the goddamn wolves out. You understand? Bring the monsters out. You understand? Like, tap into something evil. You feel what I'm saying? Because they just want you to be too nice out here. They want you to be too loving at the end of the day. And that's not going to get you to the promised land. So throughout these daily energy readings, it's different vibrations throughout different days. You like, Hood Mystic, you always talking about love this and love that. And that, yeah. But sometimes you gotta, sometimes you gotta cut that nigga off. You understand what I'm saying? Separating from negative energy. That's what this day is about. Breaking up. Sometimes you gotta break up. Sometimes you gotta separate from toxic relationships. And what you'll see is that the separation probably happened naturally. So when it happens naturally, don't panic, right? Just go with the flow. Trust the flow this weekend. We ain't made it to the weekend yet, but the weekend is approaching closely. So, it's a lot of things we can actually prepare for because we going into a full moon vibration. So another thing that we could do today is invoke the spirits that might get some shit popping. Dealing with your colleagues, dealing with your rudras, dealing with your oyas. Because squeeze first, ask questions last. It can't be a situation where you sitting in the middle of turmoil and you like, why did this happen to me? And you had more than time and energy to invoke the spirits necessary to make sure that you protected. Make sure that you are on guard. Make sure your ass is on the attack. Fuck it. It ain't the fact about being defensive in the spiritual plane. See, if you in the spiritual plane and you defensive and you protective and all of that, you ain't going nowhere. But if you invoke the energies such as Oya, Rudra, just the energies that's about it, it's still like, all right, we out here. We on the hunt. Ardra is a hunter, right? If you look up the mythology of Rudra or Ardra, they're speaking of a hunter. And sometimes you got to get your hunt on, and sometimes you got to stay out of the position of, I'm just going to sit here and be prey and hopefully don't nobody get me, right? That ain't the energy for today. So we ultimately getting rid of all of the energy that no longer serves you. And instead of being passive about it, you aggressively seeking out energy that no longer serves you, and you getting rid of it because you ultimately moving on. Because the adverse of this is just sitting in your room like Brandy and just kind of just in a depressive mode because you don't know how to partake in the energies of Ardra. And I'm just saying, bro, like I don't create this shit. I don't invent none of this shit. I'm just reading this shit like it's being said to me. And then putting it down as I understand it. So that's a bag of the Arjuna Chakra. You can smoke it if you want to, or you can continue to be so nice, so loving, so caring, and so unhappy and so suppressed and so repressed and then ultimately depressed. So we trying to get out of those vibrations. When you talk about Moon and Gemini, you either talking about Tupac or that crazy person that you know up the street that you don't want nothing to do with. You understand what I'm saying? It's like success or mental illness. And it's a thin line between genius and going crazy. But then again, it's like when you're too nice to people who don't have your best interests at heart, then you can't expect nothing else but negativity, I imagine. And I can only say that based upon dealing with people who really care for me versus dealing with people who don't really care for me. It's something cosmic, it's something supernatural that happens that you just have the worst type of luck when you're dealing with people who don't have your best interest at heart. And then you have the most amazing level of protection when you're around people who truly care for you and love you, right? But it's your responsibility and your responsibility to magnetize that energy to you. So today, when the moon enters Gemini, it presents us with an opportunity to deal with our self-talk, right? The self-talk is crazy because the self-talk know what you did last night, right? I don't know what you did last night, but your self-talk know what you did last night. Your self-talk know all the times you've been on Tinder. Your self-talk know all the times you've been on Tagged. Your self-talk know all the times you've been on Plenty of Fish. Your self-talk know every time you partook in some things. You tell everybody you straight, but your self-talk know otherwise, right? Your self-talk know all the times you cheated. Your self-talk know all the times you did baneful magic towards somebody and seen somebody really suffer. Your self-talk know all of the dirty shit you've done, right? So when it comes to actually moving towards healing and getting readings and involving yourself in relationships, if you ain't dealing with your self-talk, then that self-talk it know way more than anybody close to you ever gonna know. And that's the person that's whooping your ass. And he's like, damn, I'm just not confident. And it's just like, well, how you gonna be confident and you giving your energy away to this low vibrational entity almost all the time, but it feels so good? Okay then, but don't tell people in your readings, don't be coming to people asking them for advice, and then when it's do dirty time, you in slut mode. You understand? And that's for men and women, and ain't nothing wrong with that, but that might as well be your actual factual. I'm out here on some do dirty shit. I'm on Tinder, Hood Mystic. I'm on Plenty of Fish. You know, these niggas be coming through. It be popping for real. I'm single. You understand? Okay, sis, that's perfectly cool. Okay, bro, that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, we talking about self-talk. We talking about your actual reality of your internal dialogue, and the internet ain't gonna help you because you're not keeping it 1000 about that shit. Why would you? You want everything to be a surface level. Did you see my profile picture? You see I'm cute. You see I look good. That's all you need to fucking know. All right, how you gonna help me? What? Hold on. Rewind. Back it up. How do you view yourself? What is your shadow work? What do you do when nobody's looking? What's your deepest, darkest secrets? Because that's the shit that you need to work on when the moon in Gemini. That's why the Gemini shit is so hard. When you talk about particular privileges and particular adversity, gentrification, and particular bloodlines, and particular, you know, all types of rituals and generational curses and backdoor deals with your goddamn soul and all of this type of shit they selling your birth certificate on the goddamn stock market. It's hella crazy shit going on when it comes to you. The most important thing one has to discover is that their words are weapons, and when we don't actually have the correct modality to speak life into ourselves, we actually destroy ourselves. And because of that, we see the world reflect that. So a simple thing to deal with Gemini is to be relentless with your self-talk. Man, you are so fucking amazing. You are so beautiful. You are the shit. You the best person I ever seen. Because at the end of the day, we talking about illusions, and I'm not trying to shame nobody for being on Tinder or Plenty of Fish, but the idea is I'm on Plenty of Fish and I'm on Tinder, so fucking what? I'm getting this shit popping. You understand what I'm saying? This is exactly what I need. And if you feel like you don't want to say that because you would sound crazy, then why the fuck is you doing it in the first place? Is all. And it's like, well, don't nobody need to know my business and but we dealing with 10th house energy, we dealing with 11th house energy, we dealing with the society at large. So all the energy is saying is, if you gonna do something, then just do it. The shit that you hiding is actually hurting you, having you have that crazy ass self-talk that I could only imagine. And the reason why this self-talk is so real is because you know exactly what hurts you the most. You know what you can't protect yourself against. And one thing you can't do when you have a negative self-talk situation or conversation or argument with self, you can't just say, fuck it, I'm about to leave. You know what that is though? That's suicide though. That's when people's negative self-talk is so bad and they can't stand to have a conversation with themselves, so they rather die. They rather separate from themselves. That's really, really, really deep. And so I just want to make sure that nobody is to that point. So be sure to understand and correct your self-talk, especially throughout these next couple of days as the sun transits into Gemini, because the energy that you insert within Gemini, it manifests in Cancer. So be mindful of this. Cancer is a crab, and a crab can, you know, snap your ass real hard, or it could be the actual love and life and vibration and family and, you know, a good time, you know, being in the ocean and things of that nature. So hopefully so far so good. We just building up into this energy, and hopefully I'm not like sounding too crazy. But the reason why we got to this Venus of Willendorf, it just came through really strong once I started doing this. And so the moon is sextile Venus, and the moon is also trine Mercury. There's a minor grand trine between the moon, Mercury, and Venus. Mercury being retrograde meaning it is being observed as moving backwards, but that's the same way, we just kind of moving past it. But whatever the case may be, it's a retroactive type of vibration. So anytime I hear the words retroactive, I think about the past. So me going back into the past, thinking about the most ancient thing, this energy showed up. And then as I did the actual esoteric studies into the astrology, it made more sense. So within that, I'm gonna just talk about the ancient and future goddess Venus of Willendorf, and how a lot of men and women are the reincarnation of that energy. In the same way I referenced Shango yesterday, men and women are able to tap into that energy. It's not man and woman. A lot, and there was a question on the chat yesterday about, is spiritual gender roles and spirituality? No. Like, spirituality is pure imagination. So there could be something that you like from a goddess that you could invoke. There could be something that you like from a god that you can invoke. There could be something that you like from an animal spirit that you could invoke. Okay, this is more or less of playtime. This is more like imagination. This is more like the dream world, or we playing Grand Theft Auto with all the cheat codes. So in order to understand the cheat codes, one has to understand the energy of the goddess, the energy of nature, because the energy of nature is a destructive force, but a destructive force allows us to create a new situation, a new vibration. And although we're attached to that old energy, we got to eventually let that old energy go and really accept new vibrations. A lot of times people are so nostalgic, so much caught up into the past, that they don't even realize what the past is. The past is the goddess. The past is unknown. The past is power. The past is able to reincarnate itself over and over and over and over and over again into this present moment. The past is able to go forward many lifetimes in the future, but still could stay connected into the present. See, the rise of the divine feminine is not a game. The rise of the divine feminine is today. The rise of the divine feminine is now. And the divine feminine is the energy that we came from, but that's also the energy that we're going to. So invoke the energy of the goddess, invoke the energy of nature. Do not be mindless to the earth that you walk on. Connect to the earth that you walk on. Don't sit in the house all day and not go out into nature and love the earth that you're able to walk on and manifest from. Learn to love your environment. Learn to love your environment as a reflection of your spirit, as a reflection of your growth. Understand that a change is coming. Understand that major shifts are taking place, and the shifts are taking place are relative to the goddess. So if you're into anything archaic, if you're into anything super commercialized, if you're not into things agriculturally or tied into nature, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we're just keeping it real and keeping it funky. The moon trine Mercury is actually the Sabian symbol for Mercury at 5 degrees Aquarius in the sidereal astrology spectrum is the divine feminine. Now, the divine feminine is the most ancient, but it's also the most futuristic source of energies that we could tap into. You can tap into a lot of different stuff, but once you tap into the divine feminine, once you tap into Venus of Willendorf, once you tap into African Venus, once you tap into Aphrodite, once you tap into Isis, once you tap into Mut, once you tap into Oya, once you tap into Oshun, you understand what I'm saying? Once you tap into the divine feminine, nothing stands in your way. Okay, and every time I get on here, every now and again I go back, I go forth. But if you've been listening to my channel for a while, you know I rep the divine feminine more than I rep anything in my life. And it ain't nothing about man and woman, it's about actual factual. Okay, it is our future, it is our past. You know, we can always go to our ancient proverbial mother of wisdom anytime. You know, no matter how bad our actual mothers were, no matter how good our actual mothers were, our spirit mother is our actual mother is just the metaphor, or the proverbial mother is just the metaphor for Mother Nature. And so our ability to tap into this energy during the day allows for inspiration, guidance, and self-worth. Especially with the moon being in Gemini, you need to know how to attack. You need to know what to do when negative shit comes upon you. Go out into nature. Don't just be a sitting duck. Don't just be prey. Be a goddamn spiritual warrior. Fight back. The divine feminine represents the world we left from, but it's also the world we are coming into. The energy of this transit may present negative things, but these things are easily overcame because you're actually present. You're actually absorbing the information now. So when negative things do approach you, you know exactly who to go to. Don't beat yourself up. Realize you have more than enough spiritual resources and tap into this frequency. This energy showed up so strong. My girl, the Remnant, came through with a painting she did 2 years ago that was goddamn beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that was 2 years ago, friend, you know why? Like, we gotta get you. We gonna put your ass to work now. You need to be making these millions doing these paintings, because that was amazing, friend. But yeah. I'm a DM you. But beyond that, Venus favors the bold, so don't be a sitting duck. Be bold, tap into that energy, allow it to inspire you, allow it to guide you. Don't be focused in the energy like you already know. The divine feminine represents the unknown. It represents the most ancient aspect of yourself, your first mother, but it also represents your actual lineage and ancestry, because you have a progeny, you have a lineage that precedes you, and they'll come back to you as a source at one particular time. So what are the seeds you have planted for your future generations? So, you know, this is all 11th house shit, and, you know, very, very spiritual, very, very deep. And hopefully I can get some feedback on this. So 385-799-9560. You have any experiences with the goddess? Have this energy ever showed up to you? Have you had any dreams about this particular energy? We want to know. 385-799-9560. We want you to tap in with the Hood Mystic. Don't be scared. You know, come with it. You know what I'm saying? Say hello, say peace to the family. You know, moon is in Gemini, so if you having some low vibrations, this is an excellent place, an excellent time to share. So, you know, come with it. You know, 385-799-9560. If you called before, call again. If you ain't never called at all, you understand what I'm saying? Call again. You understand? It's a family thing. 385-799-9560. Spiritual butterfly, you ask, what does it mean to have 6 planets in retrograde in your sidereal astrology birth chart? In the most normal space, it's just ability to tap into the past, tap into your old modality, and tap into past lives. However, just being a old soul, you understand, and having the ability and resources to tap into, whether it's ancestors, whether it's deities, you know, whatever the case may be, you just have that energy to kind of go back, you know. So it's like a time traveler. That's what I would describe having the whole 6 planets in retrograde. But you know what, family? I don't even got the call. I'm telling people to call in. You know, sometimes y'all probably calling in like, hey, Hood, I'm trying to call in, but I can't get through because I don't even got this shit set up. So, you know, let me, you know how it is, man. We do this. It wasn't like the best morning. It was a good morning. It just wasn't the best. So y'all gonna have to give me like 2 seconds to get this thing set up. I wasn't on point as far as having my business together. You know, it becomes a lot. You know, you do this day in and day out, but it's definitely like super rewarding, and it's like I understand my role or my what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's enthusiasm. It's like enthusing me to keep going. But these kids though, oh man, I need to get me a nanny where I need to have enough money so I can afford a damn nanny. That's my next goal. So J Mill asks, will my books help them figure out their birth chart? That's an interesting question. It's all dependent on how much how much are you able to trust your own language, how much are you able to trust your own thoughts, and how serious are you with your particular how strong you are with really adapting your own language. Because all right, the phone lines is up. So it's my book is Astrology Explained, and then how to read natal charts easily and effectively. I try my best, like I try my hardest to help people understand, and a lot of people understand from the books, but sometimes people don't fully understand from the books. But I also leave my email in the book, so the whole goal is to help you understand your chart. So, you know, I feel like I should get more emails, but you know, people don't want to email me, and that's perfectly fine. But my thing is learn how to ask for help, and you know, I help you as much as I can. You know, I don't bite. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you need help with this shit, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying? And if you purchase the book, that's like a down payment on some advice. So, you know, if you bought the book, you can get some advice from me. You understand what I'm saying? So just buy the book, read the book, study the book like you would study anything else. And if it still don't resonate with you, you know, ask for help and I'll be there. Shout out to Enigma 23 Tarot. I appreciate it, bro.
Turn your sound down.
Huh?
Turn your sound down.
Turn my sound down? Oh, that's what happens when I cut on this goddamn phone.
No.
Yeah, every time I set the phone up, my sound goes crazy. But the phone lines is up. If you call back again. And if y'all don't want to call, y'all ain't feeling it, that's perfectly fine. The best way to purchase my book is like utilize the links in the description. All three of my books, you just click the link and it'll take you right to purchasing the book. So really, really simple. I try to make it really, really easy. Okay. Okay, Natasha, you going to the mound, so you know, make sure you got those channels open. Make sure you do something spiritual to connect. You understand? You know, do some meditation, something like that. I'm going to a mound really, really soon. But we got a call. I think 510. That's Cali.
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
510.
Good morning, Hood Mystic.
Hey, you tapped in. What's going in? What's going on?
I just wanted to encourage you to keep going. You're right on point,
Thank
especially
you.
with this Gemini moon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing my mother, whose past was Gemini, my sister, and they came to me in dreams last night, and it's like this call is still part of my dream.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
what's up? It is very amazing. So what's up for me right now is this dang generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mom left us property. We have a chance to work together, and you know how that's going.
Mm-hmm. Like hell.
It's so
Yeah.
it's like that demon keeps coming up through and snatching the victory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Are you a nice person? Are you a kind, sweet-hearted, gentle soul?
yeah, and they're kicking and they're eating my ass for lunch and dinner. They hate me.
And it's kind of like, you ever been in school and that that little kid gets smacked on the head, like, dweeb, you little dork, keep smacking the little kid on the head, keep smacking the little kid on the head. Usually that kid snaps and just beats everybody's ass up. So that's kind of the metaphor or analogy. It's a sweet side to you, but there's also a Cali side to you. There's also, so in our reading, I don't know if you mind me sharing. Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
Okay, in our reading, we talked about sexual energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were actually trained as warriors too. If you study the science of Devadasi, like, they was actually fierce warriors, but they was actually like tantric killers. So people got it real messed up. They thought like, okay, these people is just like all lovey-dovey, we about to come take over. Soon as they felt it was an attack, they went straight into warrior mode. So one part of your energy is love. The other part of your energy is war, and that's what I don't necessarily know how far you are along in that journey, but it's not gonna hurt, or it's not gonna make anything worse. It's just gonna make everything better, because it's really a sign of your energy. You just more comfortable with the loving side, and you're not really comfortable with the warrior side, but you as adept at war the same way you adept with the sensual side as well. You feel me?
Well, I hear you. I hear you on that. I don't want to destroy myself in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So what has happened, what has really helped me is I said, you know what, I'm just gonna write some checks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm building up my finances so I can just write checks to people who don't want to do family business.
Yeah.
Write checks. It's people who want to do family business. So right now, it's the family. To me, right now, family is the family of frequency. It's who's on your frequency, who's on your energy.
Facts.
And then and let's just do it like that. So
that's perfect.
I'm a double Aquarius. I want you to do a reading. I ordered your book, but I got to call Amazon because it's supposed to have been delivered on the 19th, and I don't have it.
Okay.
And
the
so
19th.
I definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely check with them about that, because that's damn near 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I I just want to just encourage you. What you're doing is really fantastic.
Thank you.
I listen to you as much as I can.
I appreciate it.
And I want to get you. I'm going to be in email you. I want you to get a reading because it's I'm like a double Aquarius, and I don't know my exact chart, but I don't have any Earth signs.
Right.
So people just want to I'm good, and they just want to treat me any kind of way. But when I come back, I do come back hard.
Right. And so the reality of a double Aquarius is that's new moon energy. So that's manifested energy. That's magnetizing energy. So a lot of what I would be talking about in the reading is, all right, do you want these things? And if the answer is no, we need to learn or set up a process where you begin to magnetize, because where it is generational wealth and breaking general curses. And what it seems to be is that you really want to nose deep dive into that generational wealth part of your life. And you have the ability and access to do so, but it's more or less about internalizing and tapping into that new moon Aquarius energy of whatever you desire, whatever you want. But you have to also think about the collective, like you said, is people that want to do family business. So strengthen those relationships, and then allow those negative relationships. Do what you need to do. File the paperwork, write the checks, salutations, I'll see you later. But it's more of an intentional thing with Aquarius energy.
Yeah, I've been working on my subconscious block, because there's a lot of stuff that's blocking me from manifesting. So I have been doing those meditations, and they've really been helping.
Yeah, because you have a strong resonance to manifesting and really having a particular intention. The secret to Aquarian energy is including other people, because it's the 11th house. And
okay.
it's a actually full moon, so that's coming in Aquarius and Leo. So it's definitely a time now that you could actually see these results like in a very short time. So continue with your manifestations, continue with your intentions, because it's actually going to work out really well for you in the future. But whenever you want a consultation, whenever you want to talk, I'll be available.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
No problem.
You have a very beautiful day.
Same
and
to you.
I want to be able to support you.
I never got your name.
Oh, my name is... Oh, I'm just going through a name change.
Sure.
Yeah,
whatever name you're comfortable with.
Okay, so like I'm Niranjani. Niranjani Om.
I love that. I really do. And yeah, that's powerful. I love that frequency.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much, and you have a blessed one.
Same for you. I'll be waiting for you to reach out.
Okay.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
So today's version of Tapped In and Daily Energy Reading is a abbreviated version, but we're gonna give it up to the goddess. Make sure you do something to connect with nature. Tap into your nurturing side, tap into your futuristic side, tap into your ancient side, because the goddess is we all came from the goddess. So let's give her praise and her respect as we move on to this energy. And tomorrow I'll be back to talk some more hot shit with you guys, and we'll just go from there. So peace to the family, and be sure to check out this. If you don't want to watch this on YouTube, be sure to follow me on Spotify, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, and all of that. So yeah, be sure to reach out to me in any way possible. hoodmystic@gmail.com, www.hoodmystic.com, which has the transcript for this whole live and this whole build if you want an actual factual where I got this information from. I have some links included, so forth and so on. So thank you everybody for tuning in today, and be sure to check you guys out tomorrow. You know the time, 8 a.m. We'll be here and we'll keep it popping. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Tap into this goddess energy and don't let your negative thoughts win. Peace out, and if you need any help on that area, be sure to email me. Much love from me and the fam to you and your fam, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.